Alrighty, good morning everybody. Welcome back to HBI Auto. I apologize for the lack in videos last week. I was on vacation and I absolutely needed that, like we all do in the summertime. We're starting this video off in a 2021 Dodge Challenger Hellcat. This is a over 700 of the wheel horsepower, road legal consumer vehicle, and I am 100% looking forward to this one. I have slightest 1% soft spot for the supercharger that is inside of this car from the factory, and that's about it. I don't really like the looks. I am not a big fan of the overall approach that Dodge takes for these cars, but I do kind of maybe like them for their power, and that's probably about it. This is like a 700 plus horsepower road legal menace to society. This thing is insane, and it's crazy to think that Dodge is okay with people just having these willy-nilly. We're gonna go ahead and dive into it. We're gonna test the streetability and just the overall comfort on this drive. We're gonna take a look around the outside of the car and just give some thoughts, because honestly I'm not very experienced when it comes to the Challenger platform. I've only driven a couple in my life. I photographed a couple too as well, so I've got a lot to learn and a lot to experience today. So let's go ahead and get started with this drive. So right off the bat, I am experiencing so much comfort inside of this interior. Now, the interior does remind me a little bit of a Camaro as far as visibility, as far as how short the windshields are and as short as the side windows are. It feels very, very narrow inside of here with big door panels and just an overall big road appearance. Now, this car is really well known as being a land yacht or just a big boat of a car, and I completely 100% agree with these people, because this thing is massive. Just pulling out of the parking spot this morning, it was a struggle because I had a car next to me and there was one right in front. So making that turn, I had to do a 3-point turn. This is a very wide car, but like I mentioned, I'm feeling 100% comfortable in this car. Now, these are cloth seats. They are fully adjustable, which is nice, and they have a really nice cloth and houndstooth insert, which I thought was interesting. To have the cloth insert, it's actually really nice, especially in the summer heat. It's not going to absorb quite like leather seats would. I'm using the red key on this drive, so it's unlocked the full SRT or Hellcat package and everything that comes with using the red key. Now, if you use the black key, which is the more normal, comfortable drive, you'll have a slightly different experience while driving and handling this vehicle. But I wanted to drive it in the red key because I know, honestly, what's the point of having the black key? Everyone's just gonna use the red key. So we're just driving around town right now. I really like, I don't know, I'm indifferent about this steering wheel right now. It is a little bit on the bigger side for me. It is pretty comfortable. It's a leather wrapped steering wheel, which is really nice. You got metal paddle shift, which is really nice, not just plastic ones. I don't know if you can hear that, but the clicker sounds very cheap to me. I don't know why, but that's just a very, very nitpicky thing. Now, driving around with the suspension and everything, it's very, very soft, it's very forgiving, and it's very, not squishy, so to say, but it is really comfortable. It's not really absorbing, it's not really taking every single hit of, you know, like cracks in the road, potholes, debris in the road. It's not really taking all that and, you know, turning it up to 10. It's actually really forgiving, and it's, again, very soft. Now, when it does come to parking this thing, I am finding myself to like lean over a lot because I don't know how deep that hood is. It reminds me a little bit of like a Dodge Viper for some reason, but it's a very big hood. It's a very long car, so I'm having to be extra careful. You do have a really nice backup camera on this and plenty of rear sensors on the car, so you're not in any sort of danger. Quality isn't that great on this backup camera though. You think after so many years and being a 2021 they would have like a higher quality camera, but you know what? It's probably an afterthought. So taking a look at the interior of this Challenger Hellcat, like I said, you got that really nice leather wrapped steering wheel with the stitching right there, SRT badge right there. It's a really good display right here. It's kind of classic Mopar where you just have like plastic right there, and then you have the two main gauges with your speedometer kind of right in the middle there in digital display. What's really cool about the Hellcat, and I believe all the SRT models, is that they make it really simple. If you hit the SRT button, it brings you to this really in-depth menu about what you're doing as far as, you know, if you're going to the track, go into the SRT dashboard, And it shows you a whole lot of different options when it comes to track, sport, custom, and auto settings. You've got your race options. You've got a whole bunch of post-race options. Now going back into the apps, going into SRT mode, this gives you a whole bunch of customization options for how you want your power. And you can also go into eco mode, but flipping over to performance, you can see an actual like baseline of your performance in here. So I'm gonna click on the throttle real quick. And it's actually really cool because you get like a live feed dyno in there, which I don't think a lot of people realize that's with it. Now we're gonna go into engine. And again, you can see your miles per gallon, you can see your PSI. We'll go to gauges. Your air-fuel ratio, a whole bunch of really good information is found here. So if you're really looking for that full performance feel in this SRT, you have it right there. Moving along to your center console area, it's pretty standard Mopar. You've got your shifter right here. You've got your volume control. You got your SRT quick menu selection right there. You have your launch preparation right there. You do have traction control on and off button. Your climate controls are down here, which are a little cramped, but they are very simple. Like they're very, very minuscule and basic, which again, it's a track slash drag strip kind of car, so it's not going to be worried about all that. Bonus, you do have 2 cup holders right here, but you also have cup holders in the door. That's a lot more for these other cars that I've been comparing. Your center console is pretty easy. You do have 2 USB ports. You've got a plug-in right there, and you've got your aux cord right there. Looking at those SRT seats, you do have the cloth with the houndstooth insert, which is really, really nice. Reminds me a little bit of a 911, but this is what I was talking about with the door. So you can see a little bit of window, but then you have a lot of door panel on the side, which to me is very narrow, it's very slim. You can surprisingly see very well out of this. Because that window goes back so far, I can see my blind spot and I can feel very comfortable driving and switching lanes on the highway and just I'm at the track. You've got that battleship gray on the exterior, or smoke gray. I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but you do have those really dark bronze wheels, which they're pretty dirty right now because we just had some rain, but never mind that. Overall, really nice street appearance. It's very menacing. You've got the SRT badge on the front and you've got that Hellcat on the side. Coming to the back, I really like how they've changed the rear ends of these cars over the past couple of ever since they re-released them in, I believe it was like 2008, 2010. I don't remember off the top of my head. Or like 2000, no, it was like 2007. When it had the whole bar, I really like this iteration where it's just the LED rectangles right there. That, to me, is a lot cleaner. You've got that supercharger sitting right up front from the factory. This is a very clean engine bay. Again, this is only a 2021 with 1,900 miles on it. You've got a massive air intake right there that helps feed that engine and cool it off. Overall, really nice appearance. Again, love the sound of a supercharger. I think everyone has a soft spot for a supercharger whine, especially when you add on mods to make it more pronounced. It sounds so good in my opinion. Now going over the trunk space, it's not bad, but I would expect a little bit more room out of such a big car. You see my bag in the corner right here. It sits pretty cozy. Maybe you could fit golf clubs back here. You could definitely fit them inside of the cabin, but pretty clean, decent space for groceries. But I really wish that they rethought this one more time before sending it into production. So what's gonna be interesting is parking this thing. Now, like I have mentioned 1,000 times, this is a big car. So parking it in this lot is, we're gonna see how useful the backup camera is. Porsches are so tiny. Oh my God, they're so tiny. I know, it probably looks less dramatic outside of the car, but inside I have this feeling of I'm going to hit something if it doesn't get out of my way. I think this car is very comfortable. Obviously, it's not the most glamorous thing to look at, and it's very basic on the inside. It's not crazy, but what really pulls this car through to the finish line is obviously the power that it comes with. And I think that was the main focus of the car, and what Dodge had in mind is that really not economy car styling, but you have economy car practicality inside and space, but you have a hellacious amount of power up front for a consumer car. That is going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. If there is something that I missed about the Hellcat, or you have a thought about the Hellcat, let me know in the comments. I'm curious what other people think about this car. I'm rating it an 8 out of 10. I think it's a good daily driver. I'm not going to say it's a sports car. Obviously, it's a muscle car. I think it's a good option for those who are big fans of the American muscle scene and want something that can take your kids to school, but also like go kick on the drag strip. So best of both worlds right there. And you have plenty of room for groceries back there. Obviously the scene and the community has really kind of skewed the vision of what this car is and you know how it should be treated, but don't underestimate the fact that this has 700 of the wheel, and it can kick a lot of these cars' butts in our lot right now. If you're curious about picking up this Challenger, I've left the link in the description below so you can check out more pictures and get in contact with our team about picking up this car today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.